All right, welcome everyone. Guess we'll get started. Are we ready to go? Okay. Well, it's 9 o'clock. I don't, with this work from home, I don't get out that early that often. But excited to be here. I was with Commerce Catalyst 2 years ago, and definitely trending, more people, more businesses. So it's exciting. And but first, I just want to ask a few questions of the audience, figure out who is here. So, raise your hand if your business, you're currently like active on Amazon. Like this is something that you're spending daily life in. How about people like where you're not there? Your company's thinking about it. You're thinking about it. Who's in the consideration phase? Okay, see 3, 4 hands. I know we'll between Jordan and I, we'll cover things that will like shape things for the seasoned veteran, but also if you're still figuring out how Amazon fits in the big picture, give you a few ideas if you're ready to make a jump into it. So. A little bit about me. I started out as an Amazon seller, and about 12 years ago, I thought I was going to be the next engineer at Facebook and Google when my brother started selling on Amazon, and that seemed a little more interesting, a little bit more dynamic, and so yeah, that's what I did. And when I say selling on Amazon, I was really building software around supporting our business, and that's still what I do today. But I'm going to do more setting the stage of like what the marketplace is today, some of the trends, the competition, what it's like. Jordan's going to spend some time jumping into a little bit more deeper, like from an operator's perspective of what it takes to win. So let's jump in. I'm still fascinated by this. This is just a Google trend. If you look, the end of 2022 is when interest on how to sell on Amazon peaked. And if you look, it's gone down for the last 2 years of seeing new entrants into the space. So fewer people are like, I think, a lot of successful sellers and brands have been there for a decade, but the new seller, those new brands, there's fewer of them. That doesn't mean at all, like I've seen, a few success stories, even some here in Utah that have, raced from 0 to 50 million in this time frame. This is more of just to explain like, how is the marketplace like shaping up more recently? And you're seeing, few new sellers like, during the COVID era, like everyone was starting a little side business, but that's slowing down. And I've got 2 opinions why, or what the data tells me. There's 2 big new forces on the marketplace that in the last few years, they're doing really well. One of them is Chinese sellers. They are, before 2020, what you saw a lot of was people connecting with Alibaba, grabbing a product from a manufacturer overseas and putting it on the marketplace. A lot of successful, people did that strategy. Well, the Chinese companies, manufacturers, they got smarts to this, and they just have gone straight to the marketplace. And so you're seeing a lot of them. And in some categories, I've got an image of this, but not here, but like some subcategories, like take like, e-bikes or t-shirts, like it's like 80-90% Chinese sellers. So there's some like categories that have been completely dominated, and they represent a very large force and a pressure to a lot of established businesses. But I want to point to the categories here at the bottom. So we see things like, arts and crafts, tools, patio and automotive at the top. That's where there's 50% of the revenue is happening to third-party Chinese brands, Chinese sellers. But at the bottom, you see like grocery, health and household, beauty, baby products, and pet. Those are like 20% or lower. Those are the categories that get me really excited when like someone talks about selling on Amazon, because I'm like, okay, you are playing in an area where like it's not you know, a commodity, so to speak, but like it's a brand that people are coming for, and they're coming and buying again. And I notice my shopping, you know, behaviors, like now that I have a few kids, like, you know, we do buy like those types of things off of Amazon, and it's primarily like U.S. Manufacturers and brands. You know, I think a lot of people like they get annoyed by the Chinese seller, but like just acknowledge like that's what they are. They're bringing like goods that people want, and in some categories they're very competitive, and they represent tens of thousands of different businesses. Let's see. Here's an example of a brand that just like, you know, within 2 years, revenue up and to the right. And this is they do deodorant and body wash, and it's honestly just like always awesome to see these stories. Every year they pop up, and they do represent what I think is the second trend that is happening on the marketplace, in that the large brands, the large sellers, they're getting bigger, faster. So, I'm sure plenty of people have heard of the company that's, you know, the largest seller in the world is actually based in Utah, named Pattern, and they announced about 2 weeks ago that they're going public. And so you get to see a lot of their revenue trends over the last 4 years. Very consistent, steady, big growth. And they're not the only one. Like large sellers, large brands, like think, you know, the Procter & Gamble's of the world, as they lean into Amazon, they have some strengths that allow them to capture and do really well in the marketplace. And so this is actually like a success story in the last 2 years in this, but Amazon becomes a place where like it's harder to win as a new seller if you don't have, you know, some of the right perspectives. But if you do have like the right brand, the right play, like this is possible. I know a few others that just happen like this, and it's kind of representing some of the trends of the marketplace. So why, you know, in this era, where does Amazon fit? You know, it's hugely important, especially in the consideration phase. We're seeing a lot of brands promote on channels like TikTok and Instagram, when actually the customers end up buying on Amazon. If you go viral on TikTok, that ends up you going viral on Amazon. And so it's hard to take Amazon out of the e-commerce puzzle, because if you choose to not show up, you will miss sales, or you may have to pay more for sales, as the conversion rates on Amazon are like definitely the highest out there, as sometimes the conversion rate can be as high as 10%, 15% when someone shows up on that page. So super higher buyer intent, and people checking those products and seeing kind of that marketplace validation. We're all used to seeing, you know, like how many reviews? Okay, a few thousand. Like I know I'm buying something that has the trust of the masses, and so very important. Let's see. You know, this picture is showing, you know, where the same day shipping, where the next day shipping is on a regional basis. One thing that I wanted to point out, like with Amazon, every single year this becomes more true, that you have to lean in to their logistics and what they want and the way they want it. They just announced about a month ago that they're going to stop doing prep services. They're not going to just like take someone's pallet and make it work and be e-commerce ready. But this reminds me, we see some brands that don't have same-day shipping. They got a lot of 2s and 3s here. The number here represents the days that it takes to ship that product to that region. And brands today, like you have to adapt your supply chain to the way that Amazon wants it. That's one of the ways to make this channel work. If not, you're going to be paying a lot in a lot of different ways, and ultimately, you may not be giving your customers a great experience. This is my final thing. I wanted to point out just us. Years ago, I was working with a brand, and it was a really cool product. This is like a little toy notebook. You could see kids playing with it, punching, and the picture's like really good. We threw this up on Amazon, and I iterated, tried again to make this work, to get sales, to become, stronger in the toy category. And the result was actually just like the demand wasn't there. People weren't looking for this really niche product that maybe didn't have a lot of awareness. And when I talk with brands, see people succeeding, like there's this like one thing that I see. It's like, it is, I would love to be able to create demand out of nothing, create a new category, but it's generally not possible. You want to capture like what the demand, and that's I think a lot of people do talk about Amazon being kind of that demand capture platform, and that we see deodorant as $30 million a month of revenue that happens on deodorant. To double that, probably not going to happen. We're not going to do that overnight. Amazon does grow, 5, 10. They've averaged about close to 8, 9% year over year, which does represent, tens of billions of dollars of growth every single year. But it's not going to double. You can't outgrow your TAM. So be very mindful of like if you're going in that like that like you're going to be able to capture a good market. And that's all I've got. So I'm going to do a quick intro of Jordan, who's going to jump a little bit more into an operator's hat. But he's got a lot of experience from a lot of different brands of what it takes to have an e-commerce focus and to think of the brand's perspective of jumping in and succeeding on Amazon. So, Jordan.
Amazing. Thank you, Scott. Okay. So we get out of here at when? 9:30, right? Okay. So I have about 200 slides that I need to get through in about 12, 13 minutes. So bear with me. But email me. That's my work, my 9 to 5 email. But if you also want to, thank you. If you also want to email me at my personal email, I forgot to put it up there, but it's jordanhire121@gmail.com. And I can send this slide deck over if we don't get through all 2 million slides of it. But yes, I have been in e-com and marketing for 10 years now. Got my real start at Pattern, the company that Scott mentioned. I was employee 7, 8, 9 there, not including Dave and Mel's kids as employees, if you want to count them. But now I'm here at Soraya managing 5 brands total now. At Pattern, I was doing anywhere from 7 to 9 to 11 at a time. So brands, e-commerce, Amazon, bread and butter, marketing, bread and butter, everything I love. So crushing it on Amazon. What does it take? We all know Gary Vee. He does an amazing job at everything that he does. He's in everyone's face, but not in an annoying way, but in a very thoughtful and charismatic and wanting to do more, wanting to be more, to give back to everybody. As far as I know, he doesn't sell on Amazon, but I just love how he crushes everything that he does in so many different ways, so I thought it'd be relatable to hear. But yes, success, we all want it to be linear. Like Scott was saying, some things on Amazon work, some things don't. But over on the right-hand side, that is what success is. It's a big ball of yarn. Sometimes it goes backwards, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up, whatever else. So crushing it on Amazon isn't about knowing one hack. It's about mastering the fundamentals, playing the long game, and being obsessed with data and the customer experience, because Amazon is. And that's exactly what Scott is all about and the Smart Scout team. If you don't know them, you should. So there's Scott, and then there's a couple others in the audience as well. Talk to them about data, because data is everything. I love data, backwards and front. But then to win on Marketplace, you got to have those 4 things, which then drives revenue. So it's traffic, conversion, price, and availability. And then put that on repeat. Seems easy, right? But just like anything that's worth it, it's not. So traffic, you do that through PPC, advertising, SEO, external traffic, through social media, through marketing campaigns, through efforts, through whatever else. Yes, you can be successful on Amazon without a lot and or any of that, but it takes a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of buckle up and put your helmet on, because it takes a lot of banging your head against the wall as well. But conversions, listing optimizations, images, reviews, A+ content, retention, subscribe and save. Because once you get somebody on subscription, I don't want to say you got them for life, because you still have to maintain and drive that continuous revenue, but it's easier to keep them, because how many people are on subscriptions that kind of forgot about it, don't really know about it, and then you get it in the mail and you're like, oh my gosh, cool, I guess. So putting it on subscription is very, very important as well. But then some beginner level insights, putting everything into that growth flywheel. Traffic, click and buy, reviews, brand, inventory, sales ranking. So being visible on Amazon is king, along with content. Because Amazon is a game of numbers. Amazon is a game of momentum. So if you're not increasing the numbers by a fraction of a percent or double-digit percentages, whatever else, you're losing. And visibility is top. So whatever keyword it is, long-term, short-term, whatever it is, or short tail, whatever it is, if you are not in that top half of the page, you've already lost. So it takes a lot, especially 75, 80% plus of us are shopping on mobile. That's even more catastrophic if you're not in the top 5, 10, potentially. Then over here, Amazon's algorithm, knowing how to play Amazon's algorithms appropriately. I know it says A9, but Amazon's algorithm is A10 now. They're constantly changing, updating, doing a lot of things with that. So that goes into everything. So increasing your conversion rate and how to do so, it's a whole laundry list of different things. But increasing sales velocity, click-through rates, review sentiment, all feed the Amazon algorithm. So then lifestyle of advertising strategy. Don't just put your bids high and hope for the best, because you burn through a lot of money there. You want to have a very strategic advertising campaign. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, 12 months, depending on what type of product it is and what product or what stage that product is in that life cycle, which kind of go a little bit further into depth in just a second. But I put asterisks next to the variation strategy, because right now, currently adjusting a variation for one of the companies and brands that I manage right now is Lakanto, so the monk fruit sweetener brand. I put the classic monk fruit erythritol product. There's about 7 different variations of white sugar replacement, golden raw cane sugar replacement, powdered sugar replacement, baking sugar, all these different things. I put it all into one variation, and then all the different sizes in that same variation. So if a customer landed on that, then they can see all the products that we do have, all the sizing, over 120,000 4.7 reviews, whatever it is. So once they get there, they can see the trust. They can purchase all 20, I think it was 22 different SKUs of products that we put into one variation. But now I'm breaking that variation apart, so then we can optimize and control and own more of that digital shelf. So when somebody searches for sugar replacement or monk fruit sweetener or better healthy sweetener or whatever it is, we show up more spots than just that one place, because that one place only takes up one spot on the digital shelf or the search ranking. But now breaking that variation apart, we take up 22 spots. So it's expanding, and then a customer searching for best sugar alternative sees 22 products of ours instead of just one, where if they were looking for a white sugar replacement and they were shown the brown sugar replacement, they wouldn't have clicked on it because they couldn't see it. So being aware of your products, your product set, how they appear to customers, where they appear, when they appear is very, very important as well. And then, like mentioned before, data-driven decisions. So like I said, Scott and Smart Scout team, all about the data, love the data. Amazon data at your fingertips to an extent, but sometimes they're a little touch and go, and they hold some of the data, but if you plug into it properly, the world is your oyster for sure. So 2 years ago, over on the left-hand side, the anatomy of Amazon search results compared to now. So over on the right-hand side, sponsored brands, sponsored products, advertising campaigns, a bunch of organic results, highly rated in the categories like, oh yeah, Amazon thinks that you might like this because of sales volumes and other people bought it, whatever, so we're going to show it to you. But a lot of organic results. So it was fun, it was easier to win on Amazon and to get that sale. But now over on the right hand side, sponsored brand campaign up at the top, and then organic results are just a little bit there. And then overall pick by Amazon, customers frequently viewed, another sponsored product section, another sponsored brand section, top reviewed SKUs based off of sales velocity, based off of traction, based off of trends, and then what is trending now, and then Amazon's live video, and then editorial recommendations. Where's the organic results? They're in there somewhere, but based off of the things that you do on the front end and the back end is even more important, and capturing the sale and continuing to do so, pumping more money into ads strategically, not just spray and pray method, throwing something at the wall, hoping it sticks, but getting in there. The search results nowadays is even more difficult because it's not just based off of organic results. It's not just based off of SEO or phrases or imagery or whatever. It's a whole plethora of all of it combined. So something that Scott mentioned before is outside external traffic driving to Amazon as well. So like TikTok, different socials, whatever. And I put up top a live stream because that is the day and age now, is people want to buy it immediately wherever they shop originally. They want to get it there. If they saw it on TikTok, they can buy it on TikTok Shop. It's important to be there. You can, quote unquote, directly integrate into TikTok Shop. You can have TikTok fulfillment, or have TikTok fulfill your orders, or you can integrate it with Amazon or Shopify or whatever it is to then fulfill your orders through your Amazon FBA inventory, which also helps reduce your logistics cost, your shipping cost, your overhead cost, whatever else. You ship all your inventory to Amazon because at the end of the day, if you're driving people from your website to Amazon or TikTok to Amazon or Instagram to Amazon, whatever, it's all coming out of the same bucket. But it is getting counted differently across the board. So Amazon can be like your 3PL kind of, but most people want it to be that 2-day free shipping, or maybe even 3 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is. I ordered one time, I think it was like lunch, and I was like, oh, this would be cool to have. And then I got home from work at like 5 o'clock and it was already at my doorstep, which is insane. So creative content is another huge piece. You always have to be testing, optimizing, increasing your creative day in and day out. Testing is key. You can put things on 4-week tests. You can put things on 8-week tests, whatever it is. But you don't want to test too many things at one time, because then you don't truly know what is really driving those results or not. You could test an image and then you add more advertising information or dollars to it. You could test the bullet points, the titles. You could test all these things at once, but then you're like, okay, we saw a decrease in sales, but why was that? Or we just tested the images and we saw an increase by 16%. Okay, it was the images, so let's do that again and again. And to our less performing products, maybe if we increase or if we improve the images, then we might see similar results. So content is another huge thing there. And here are some examples of increasing that first main image. Over on the left-hand side is what it was before. Over on the right-hand side is what it was changed to and what drove the results. So you can see that smoke machine fluid. Cool. It looks like something you put in your car or you see at AutoZone or whatever it is at first glance. But then when you put it in like next to the packaging that it comes in and the smoke behind it, then people are like, okay, yeah, I understand it a little bit better. Sure, I'll click that. I don't know if I'm going to purchase it, but I'll click it. It takes them to the next step of potentially buying the product. So adding more life to it. Over on the right-hand side, that plushie doll looks like it's maybe 6 inches. A small little, cute little fuzzy toy. Over on the left image, but putting it next to a child who's about, 7 years old, saying that it's 5 pounds really drives in how big it is, but then also like who it's targeted towards. Obviously, it's pink, it's a toy, whatever, it's targeted towards kids, but putting as much information as Amazon allows. Again, images get pulled down for various reasons because Amazon changes their policies left or right, day and night, whatever it is. But adjusting your images to be more captivating is one way that you can appear better in those results and drive more sales and get more awareness and increase traffic to your products and your overall brand. These are just very easy examples. Over on the left-hand side, just the bag. Right-hand side, we put what the product actually looks like so they can see that it resembles sugar. Top of the product, classic white sugar replacement, even though it is right here, you can't really see it. So pulling things out that are important to customers to have them visually see it first and foremost is key to that. And then next thing on the creative side is to improve your storefront to make it like your website. I don't want to say mimic your website, but this is another way of shopping and driving your advertising efforts to this shopping, to the storefront to be like your website. So then they can see not just one of your products, but all your products. So there's a lot of different things that we can dive into. Advertising-wise, just getting started there. There's a whole rap sheet of advertising campaigns for you to create, whether it be automatic, manual, sponsor brand, sponsor product, generic, broad term, competitor, conquesting, all these different things. And this one I'm going to spend 10 seconds right here because over on the back end of things is you have to, you can do so much on the front end so that customers can see it, but if you don't pay attention to the back end of things and your overall account health, Amazon can suspend your listing based off of customer reviews, customer complaints, this, that, and the other, or they can completely deactivate or suspend your whole seller account, which if you're used to selling thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars a month to completely zero, that's going to be devastating and catastrophic to you as a brand owner or to your company, to your business, whatever it is. So always be aware of your overall account health. Check that daily because sometimes emails get lost. But this is your dashboard. This is one of your lifelines. So, be obsessed with the data. It's not just one and done. It's constantly repetitive efforts, day in and day out. Yes, it's a nuance. Yes, it's tiring. Yes, it's a headache. But it's very fun. Like I said, if you can change, if you can increase your overall sales or your daily sales, whatever it is, by fraction of a percent, that is everything in the long term. Because like I said before, Amazon is not a get rich quick if you do it correctly. I mean, yes, you can, but if you want to have brand trust, brand recognition, brand whatever else, do it slow, but be aggressive. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, myself, and or Scott. Email us, come talk to us, whatever it is. I love Amazon.